This video will walk you through using the online tools training system given to us by the state to practice for the LEAP and EOC online testing. We have added a link to the Tangi Schools webpage. So to access the online tools training, you can either go to the students page or the staff page. I'm going to go to students. And on the students page, if you scroll down, we have a section from the Department of Education for the LEAP practice tests for the online tools training. You will need to be in a Google Chrome browser for the online tools training to work. This is where students can go take the practice online state assessments. It's important that students be exposed to this so they can become familiar with the online testing tools that are going to be available for them in the operational test. I'm going to click on the online tools training, and we are going to go into the LEAP practice test. Within the LEAP practice test, there are different types of tests that students can use to practice using the tools. You will have a math practice test, a math practice test that uses the text-to-speech feature. So if you have students with that accommodation or they're going to be using the text-to-speech for math, you can practice with that. There is the ELA test, the ELA with text-to-speech, social studies, and social studies text-to-speech. At this point, students would select the subject area that they would like to practice with, and then they'll select the grade level that they'd like to practice. On this page where the students log in, notice that the username and password are right above the username and password blanks. So I'm going to go ahead and type in the username and the password, and I'll sign in. So here is just like the real test where it tells me I'm confirming what test I'm in. When students take the real test, it'll have their student session, their school name, and of course their Louisiana State ID. I'm going to go ahead and click continue. It's going to show me that this is the test I can take. Notice down here there are options. So this is where students who need these options changed, you have the contrasting colors. So if they needed to change the color format of the background and the foreground or the text, they can. I also have the option for the reverse contrast where you can enable that or I can disable that. So those are the first two options that you'll have in the test. Every student will have the option for that. I'm going to go ahead and click on my test, and this is going to load the test data. On the first page, they're going to have the instructions, and then they'll click next. They'll have some more instructions talking about the tools. There's a pointer, the flag. Depending on the test, there may be equation builder. So all of this is teaching the students how to use the tools right now for the test. And of course, some hints. So we are going to begin the test. Notice the tools up here. I have my pointer, which allows me to select. I can cross off items if I need to rule out specific items. Clicking again will remove that X. I do have a highlighter that I can highlight pieces of the question. There is a sticky note, and I can place a sticky note on here. There is a magnifier which will zoom in, and once I am zoomed in, I will need to use the bar on the bottom and on the right to scroll around to see the whole screen. If I need to zoom in even further, I can go even further. So this would be for that large print. There is also a line guide that I can drag down if I am reading. And then because this one is math, I'm going to have some measurement tools. So I have a ruler, which I can rotate. There is a centimeter ruler, which again I can rotate. And there is a protractor. And again, I can rotate that protractor. And then just like they would have previously, this is my assessment reference sheet. And depending on the grade level, it may be different for each grade level. Now, there is the option down at the bottom to flag a question, which will let me come back to it later if I need to. It reminds me to come back and check this question. So these are just some of those sample questions. Notice in some of these students will need to know how to type in numbers, enter text in a box, and here they can select, and sometimes it's selecting more than one, selecting answers. So here again would be something that I could use my tools for. And so this one is one of those interactive questions where I'm actually moving the tool to set my length. And same thing here. So this one I am recording the results of a ring toss. So I can come up here and I can say 1/7, 3/7, 1/7, and so forth. So it's going to give the students practice hints. If students do have questions, there is the question mark that will help with that area. So same thing here, I'm dragging and dropping. And then this one has drop downs, true or false. And then this is going to be my equation builder. So for math, there will be an equation builder where students can use different mathematical symbols to use when solving their problems. And so once you are done with the test, you can review and end. Notice the questions that I had a flag on will have a flag that will remind me to go back. I can see answered or grayed out, multiple choice or ovals, filled constructed response are rectangles, and then any unanswered questions would be white on the centers of them. So students have a nice visual to know what they need to go back and complete. Once I am finished, I will end test and I will end test. And then of course it's giving me the option to restart because this is a practice, but I am going to exit the test. Students can go back in and they can practice with these tools as many times as they would like. This can be used at home or at school as long as you are using the Chrome web browser. So check out the different online tools that they have for students. We looked at math. You could go look at language arts and social studies. Again, the tools may be different, but you do want to go in and make sure students have an opportunity to practice using all of these.